First off, I'd like to thank the organizers of this symposium and our gracious hosts, including President Bin, Professor Cook, Professor Nia, and particularly I'd like to thank Dr. Phuc Pham and his team at the Stem Cell Lab for without their hard work behind the scenes, this symposium would not have come together so seamlessly. So thank you. So I have the privilege today to share with you all some information, as David alluded to, on the UCLA Center for Global Mentoring. And I will talk about our training programs as well as other international activities that we have ongoing. So David's already mentioned this, that at CGM, our priority is to provide US model type of mentoring, particularly in the basic sciences, to trainees from less developed countries, including Vietnam, for we believe that this provides a framework for the foundation for greater knowledge in the sciences, but also for helping to accelerate discoveries, particularly in science and technology and medicine, and doing so in a way that transcends geographic boundaries. I had the honor in October to come for an extended period, about a couple weeks, and spent some time with the students in the Stem Cell Lab. And I'm always amazed by the vibrancy and enthusiasm of the Vietnamese students. So it's always a pleasure for me to come back. So we've heard upon the history a little bit of how the UCLA VNU collaboration began. And it started a few years back with the creation of the Medar Center through efforts from VNU and Professor Omar Yagi. Fred and I then returned a few years ago and initiated dialogue around cancer research. And today, in 2014, we are here with the team to, this is a very exciting year because it's going to be the matriculation year of 4 mentees from VNU to UCLA. So CGM will focus on, the way we see it is there are 4 basic research areas. The first being biochemistry, second being cancer biology, third chemistry, and the fourth is molecular and or structural biology. And the respective lead mentors from UCLA are indicated there. David Eisenberg. For this year, the mentors for chemistry are Rick Keener, Puyu Tamanoy, who's here for cancer, and for biochemistry, Joe Liu, who will be one of our speakers tomorrow, who is co-mentoring with another faculty member, Cynthia Merchant. From VNU, the respective mentors from some of the trainees include the faculty that I list there. And these are faculty that I've met in October. I had a chance to meet more, especially Dr. Tan Lai, who is the head of the analytical chemistry department, as well as Dr. Nia in biochemistry, Dr. Phuc, who we met here. And I think that over the over the next years, we'll find more and more, we'll have increased engagement from other faculty as well. So this is just a tentative list. So currently for enrollment of students, there are 2 potential mechanisms that the students can come to UCLA. The first is as a visiting graduate researcher. Now under this mechanism, the mentee from VNU would be enrolled in an existing master's or PhD program at VNU. And as David said, they would come to UCLA and train there for a minimum of 1 year, potentially renewable for a 2nd year. And then after their subsequent training, they would return back to VNU to complete their graduate program. Now, because we know and we realize that there will be talented candidates who might not fit into that mechanism, They might have completed their masters from other institutions, European institutions, for instance, or they might be seeking to obtain enrollment in a full-time PhD program. So for those talented mentees that might connect with a UCLA mentor, the mechanism that they can come to UCLA is under a staff research associate mechanism. And we want to make it flexible. So there is an option that after the one-year training there, if they qualify to enroll and be admitted into the UCLA full PhD program, they may be able to stay with that mentor and do their research training. But that would be through the typical graduate program and through the typical eligibility criteria. But following their training, we would encourage them also to come back to the host country, because of course the goal of this partnership is to be able to come back and contribute to the research capacity building in Vietnam. I would say that the way that the CGM training functions can be regarded, there are local functions and then there are overseas functions. So the local functions David touched upon, which is mentoring at UCLA, where the mentees will have exposure with their mentor to troubleshoot, to learn about the methods for research and about medical integrity, as well as we hope become more innovative and creative thinkers. They will also have an opportunity to improve on their English reading, writing, and speaking skills, and participate in seminars at UCLA, including the seminars, very, very productive and exciting seminars through the Institute of Medicine, for instance, and the Microbiology Seminar Series. And we would encourage them to work closely with their mentor, and I would still be in liaison with them to improve presentation skills, and they'd be required to give a presentation at the end of their training. Overseas, I would, for trainees who are unable, as you know, there are only 4 trainees that are able to come to UCLA per year. So for those who are unable to train at UCLA, this is a potential collaboration we can do where, certainly in my role, I can, in the time that I am in Vietnam, I can also help to some of the objectives in terms of curriculum development. So what are the fellowship that would be entailed? So CGM will contribute $30,000 towards cost of living and housing. This also will include health insurance for the mentees, and we will also cover, this includes also visa processing costs. We also contribute up to $5,000 for travel and for laptop. And any additional expenses beyond that will be the responsibility of the student and or VNU. With regard to international initiatives, as David mentioned, we're starting here in Vietnam, but we hope to expand our model to other countries, particularly possibly in South American countries. I myself, through participation with the State Department, am hoping to engage Vietnamese diaspora scientists in activities to engage their interest in science and technology activities in Vietnam. And we are working with our partners to figure out and solicit ways to sustain the long-term viability of our programs. And this is a photo here of some representatives from VNU and CGM who were present at the JCM 8 meeting in Washington, D.C. this past September. So in closing, I would like to acknowledge the CGM team, Dr. David Eisenberg, our founder Omar Yagi, Fu Yu, Fred, and I'd also like to send a special thank you to Miguel, Marilyn, and Teresa, who are very important in terms of assistance in the enrollment process for the mentees. With that, thank you for your time, and I can answer questions during discussion.
And now we would like to invite Professor Fredwell to present about the update on HCM global strategy.
Thank you. Yeah, I noticed you and I have to come on.
That would be a ceremony.
Yeah. I'm not sure it's the mind. Okay, I'm not sure which institution is granting us that status, but I appreciate it. Thank you for affording me this opportunity to speak and to be here. This is my fifth trip to Ho Chi Minh City and my fifth visit to Vietnam National University of Ho Chi Minh City. It's a real honor to be here. I guess my goal is my role here is to put this into a globally strategic context. And I think one of the questions that we keep getting over and over again on every trip is why Vietnam? Why are you here? And I think there's a really easy answer. I think this is a phenomenally historic opportunity in the history of the world for two nations to come together after having completely fallen apart. I think I feel very honored to be here. I think the momentum has been growing. We've been working very strategically for 4 years now. And again, Professor Yang has been a key part of that from the beginning. Professor Zong has been an incredible part. It is really an honor to meet you, Professor Chong. I mean, I agree with David. Your presentation was incredibly moving and exciting. I feel like we've been working towards this vision now for not that long, it's a year and a half. And I'm very excited that we're where we are. Again, in terms of Omar came, it was really probably 2009, almost 5 years ago, when Omar came back to UCLA one day, and he said to me, he travels around the world, he always has, since he was 15 when he left Oman, and came to upstate New York to go to, as David says, the community college. He made it from a community college in the U.S. to State University in New York, and then from a State University in New York to a State University in Illinois, where he got his PhD, and then he went on to a teaching career at Arizona, at State, University of Michigan, UCLA, and now UC Berkeley. Omar has taught me so much about the public system of higher education in the United States. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. We have a phenomenal opportunity to take lessons that we've learned through the University of California. Well, that includes UCLA and Berkeley. And again, I think David, Omar, and I are determined to show the system and the world what can happen when you combine two of the top universities within the system and on collaboration. And I think that, but again, we have been mentored and we have learned a lot about leadership from President Bin, former Vice President Min, Professor Yang, President Zong, Professor Chong. I think this is very much a win-win value exchange between the two institutions. And I think my talk, I won't give a talk, but I just want to mention a couple of words really. They were ambition, science, humanity, and society. And to me, that's what global mentoring is all about. I'm not a scientist. I'm a development officer. Development officer is what we do. We advance the interests of the university. And that has led me from UCLA, from Los Angeles to Ho Chi Minh City 5 times. I'm very much here advancing the interests of our university. And I think that what we've developed over the last 5 years, since Omar came back to UCLA, he said, I think I messed up. I committed us to a long-term collaboration in Vietnam. And that led to much discussion with the U.S. State Department, the Office of Naval Research. We've been back and forth to Washington many times. I think it's very exciting to be part of this opportunity. Again, a truly historic opportunity to bring through two universities, through hard-charging public university of higher education, comprehensive universities. I didn't realize until today that there were 61,000 students here at VNU. We have about 35,000 students in UCLA. These are large, vibrant universities. Again, the combination of ambition, science, humanity, and society going on every day. We have Min is at UCLA today with Catherine Atchison and the Dean of our School of Education. So we have parallel discussions going on the same day on two continents across the Pacific around building the two universities. And again, I can't wait to see where we come out on the other side of this, say 10 years from now. But I think the exciting part is in terms of institutional impact, which takes time to see, decades. What's really exciting is you get to watch the impact on faculty and students. Again, it's been a really exciting and honor to watch. I didn't realize until yesterday that David is part of the international global mentoring. He left the United States to get his PhD in England. Dee has been from Vietnam to Canada, Canada to the United States, one part of the United States to another part of the United States. Omar left Oman, went to Jordan, went to New York, Illinois. So there's global mentoring. It's really exciting to watch global mentoring in action. And it's been really a pleasure to start to meet some of the visiting graduate researchers who will be leaving Ho Chi Minh City, coming to UCLA. So on the way to seeing significant institutional impact between the two universities, UCLA and Vietnam National University, and I think significant impact on our two societies, which are coming back together after decades of, we have a very complicated, deep relationship with the two countries. So what we get to see in real time is the impact on the students. And that's where the reward is coming. So, okay, thank you.